there is an estimated 1.1 million metric tons of helium-3 on the moon. So we're talking about actual, real clean energy on a global scale. So on the positive side, it's incredible that humanity has made. The downside, and I guess a controversial one, is that this discovery was made by China, who doesn't necessarily have the longest history of, let's say, transparency when it comes to the government. China has already said that they not only have a way to extract the helium-3 from the lunar surface, but also have plans on how to retrieve the isotope and transport it back to Earth on a large scale. When the world, understandably, asked how they were going to do that, China did not provide that information, hence that whole transparency issue. We have to remember that China doesn't own the moon. Other space agencies can, and likely will, conduct their own mining missions on the moon in an attempt to claim their small part in a 1.5 quadrillion fortune. The execution of this type of nuclear fusion using helium-3 on a large scale is still a ways off, but the new gold rush seems to have begun, except this time, it's on the moon.
When I have kids, I'm going to homeschool them, and the way that I do that is I'm going to show them this. Just videos like this all day. This will be today's lesson. All they need is one video. That contains more knowledge, more information than an entire day's worth of learning anything at school. Guaranteed.
Well, they're not going to be getting slobbered on by their gym teacher.
And they're not going to be getting fingered in the track field house.
You want to use my chalk? What would you do to me for it? That would be so fucking funny. You walk by the classrooms like right now today, and they're like, "You want to be the teacher?"
Yeah, they're just all of them. Like
he's got like a button-up shirt halfway off. It's really like over the top. He's like, "Come on, you want to use my chalk? You want to teach the class? What are you gonna do to me for it?"
At every public and private school that you go to
right now,
all the right this second, all the teachers are just acting like bored Saudi billionaires at a baccarat table, just saying, like, not caring whether they get kicked out.
Whatever, man. That's what it sounds like when a teacher gets fired for sexual assault.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Will someone please explain to me what the term sexual assault is and why people keep saying it? What the fuck, dude? Anyway, in 1942.
So the Chinese economy is in ruins. They are about to lose the country that they import all their energy from. They're a net importer of energy and food, but the country that they import all their energy from is Russia. They're about to lose that because we have banned the sale of microchips. Did you hear about this?
No.
This is amazing, and I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should feel patriotism. I like when, even though Biden doesn't do anything. He's a fucking geriatric pedophile who doesn't know where he is. But I like hearing that the Biden administration did something patriotic. Okay, I like when other countries get it stuck to them. Okay, they've banned the sale of microchips to China, which is fucking huge and amazing. China imports more microchips than they do oil in terms of monetary value. Like microchips, the computer chips that run everything.
What are they made of? Silicone?
They're made of silicone.
No, what are they made of?
They're made of silicone. Oh, they're made of silicone.
Silicones?
They're made of silicone.
What's in these little bad boys?
It's silicone and metal and all this other shit. But the so all their surveillance stuff, their space program, which is obviously fake, their self-driving cars, their future cities, their WeChat cell phone economy, smartphone economy. This is all stuff that requires microchips to make. The microchips are all made in Taiwan, which if they capture Taiwan, those factories would be blown up either by the Taiwanese or by the CIA. But they'd be blown up. No, it would just be an act of subterfuge. It would just be a black ops thing. And the Chinese don't have the ability. They don't have the know-how. They don't have the as much as they're always shown as this like boogeyman, like on the cover of The Economist. China's coming, the decade of China,
right.
The millennium of China. They're fucking retards.
Yeah, the big tough Chinese guy's gonna come kick Mike Tyson's ass. That's what's gonna happen.
They don't even the way that they think is like complete. I think it's because of their language, but the way that they think is like. I remember there's a Chinese kid in my elementary school growing up, and he would always just come up with the most magnanimous tech lies. He would like AOL 2.0 just came out. I have AOL 2.0 on disk at home. Just that constantly for 10 years. I have they come out with Facebook. I know the guy that programmed that. His name's Alex Chang. Now he's an entrepreneur in New York City.
Is he good?
I can't imagine that he possibly has. I mean, if he's good, it would be because he scammed somebody else out of money.
But
everything he says is the most unbelievable lie. I mean, maybe in the time since then to becoming an adult, he learned how to lie.
Be a little more clever.
Yeah,
a little slick.
But his lies were crazy. His lies were crazy.
Just over the top.
I have compact processor 486. I have a Pentium 55 processor. They only make it for me and my family. Like fucking nuts shit. And he wasn't like mentally ill. He was just Chinese.
I've heard that in some way.
You've heard that from
I've heard like that.
Yes.
Like I've heard I've heard elaborate lies of the sort.
Yes. I watch car videos with the Chinese car collectors. You know David Lee. David Lee's the famous Ferrari collector.
Ferrari guy, yeah.
And there are Chinese guys with money that have like extravagant cars, but then they'll say something like you'll catch something like they only make this color level 1 year and they only make it for me.
Yeah.
Like, they'll say something where it's like
run that back for me there.
Say that one more time. Is that looks like Oro Chiaro Ferrari light gold. Are you sure that's what you said? No, that's only what. Like they'll do stuff like
yeah.
Like if you're a billionaire, you have like every rare Ferrari. You don't need to lie. You can just say the truth. The Chinese are they've been weaving a web of lies. What was the track that I was on? What was I saying?
They are
the microchip thing. So they obviously this should be apparent to anybody with a brain. They're not this like tech Goliath. Like everything that they have is stolen, and they are not able to the chip foundries, the places where these microchips are made. They're not able to do that. They don't have the personnel. They just don't. It's not something that they have the capability of making them. It's all made in Taiwan. It's made in Taiwan and the U.S. And the Taiwanese make it based on our designs. That's why China's importing these things as opposed to making
Sun
them themselves.
Microchips.
It's NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
It's like the AI chips, the AMD, but everything, and the microchips that are banned, like the ones that China has the capability of making are on the order of like fucking an alarm clock. Like that's what they're able to. That's what they're able to make themselves. So they are totally banned from importing microchips. And anybody who is working in China, the U.S. government has said you either have to come back or you can renounce your U.S. citizenship, which is not, a guy that's working for Intel overseas. He's not going to renounce his U.S. citizenship.
Oh, I'm going to stay here in China.
Right.
Or stay in China.
That's what it is.
Leave your family in the United States. Then how's that going to work? Just like.
Well, you renounce your citizenship, you become a Chinese citizen, and you're sucking smog in Shanghai for the rest of your life.
Have you seen my girlfriend? I'm going to ask you a question. You seem like a pretty fair guy, Dave.
Yeah.
Have you seen my girlfriend here?
Well, I can't. I got to admit, no, I haven't.
Have you seen my wife back home?
I got to admit, I have, and it's not a pretty picture.
I'm going to be sticking around here, there, bud. So where's do you just do it here? Or when I walk out of here, I'm going to be a Chinese citizen? Is that, you guys going to be cool about this?
Mm-hmm.
A raise? No.
Anyway,
that's what the options are.
That's what the options are.
They're going to cut people's citizens. You're saying that the people who do business that you were just to back it up to where you were.
The U.S. government is forcing this. On them.
What are the measures that they're taking? You think?
They're revoking the U.S. citizenship of these people of anybody that works in China, who works for a chip company, and they're banning the export of these chips to China.
How about Taiwan?
Taiwan is where they're made.
But Taiwan to China?
I think that's banned as well. It's U.S. based technology is being sold. Is not what it's being shut down. And I think that's why China wants Taiwan so badly. But what would happen if China? So the other thing is, like, I think China thought that they would be able to just hop on over and capture Taiwan. Like that was part of their 15-year plan is the reunification of, or whatever, the 5-year plan. That's the document that they put out every 5 years as the next 5 years, the China's great 5-year plan, where it's like, we're going to modernize the roadways. We're going to blah, 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 like build cities, build these fucking ghost cities that nobody inhabits. Part of it is to reintegrate Taiwan into China, meaning militaristically or propaganda-wise, capture it somehow.
Was it
which they thought they would be able to get away with, but the Russia-Ukraine thing proves that that's not the case. The world will, meaning CIA, the NATO, et cetera, will intervene and probably will cause fucking problems. That's not, you can't just, they're not just going to go over and take over Taiwan, which is what I thought would happen. That's what I thought. I thought they were going to take Taiwan.
That was a hot button issue for a while.
Yeah, but it's not gonna happen. And if it did, those chip factories would get just blown up. So anyway,
okay, that's totally like
my suspicion is that the chip banning is there as a bargaining chip to prevent the Chinese from buying Russian oil. I think that's what's going to happen. So they're going to say will allow you to buy microchips again if you stop buying Russian oil. I think that's what's going to happen. The Russians and the Chinese, they're all, of course, they're focused on their own survival ahead of everything. But they're trading partners. But
you don't think the threat is
they're not. There's not like a deep, like, Chinese people are not like, oh, we are brothers with Russia. It's just that they're neighbors and they're trading partners and they're both engaged in this war for not a munitions type war, but a war for their survival. But the Chinese, the Chinese space press. That's a joke.
That was
all that CG shit.
When you immediately registered it as a joke, you were like this. In my head, I'm like, that stuff looks fake as shit. But it took me like 10 minutes, and I'm like, this is the stupidest shit ever. It's like, it looks like a video you would see in a Matt Damon movie.
Yeah, the Chinese are having an existential crisis on how to heat their people and keep them from freezing to death, and to feed them furthermore. The Chinese. So what they're going to start doing in the tail end of their existence as a quote unquote superpower is they're going to start exporting the same lies that they tell their own people.
Yep. So
the COVID lockdown in China.
You think that's fake?
No, it's because I think their vaccine doesn't work. And I think I don't think they have natural immunity either. So if the Chinese people were out of lockdown, there would be a lot of deaths. Because there were a lot of COVID deaths, right? I mean, it's not bullshit that COVID killed people.
No.
Yeah.
But they didn't they say that if the Chinese your pussy sideways?
It definitely is.
From a medical standpoint, didn't they say that
medically,
if you're
yes.
Asian, then your pussy sideways?
Yeah. North Korea. We know what despotic Asian governments do. At this when they're entering into this stage, it's what North Korea does, where they have fake cars and fake car dealerships, and they take tourists around to show them the fake cars. China's going to export that via TikTok, so you're going to be seeing a lot. You're probably going to over the next 6 months to a year, you're probably going to be thinking that the Chinese science and space. There's going to be a Reddit. We love space. Oh, guess what? I love China now because they're sending a colony ship to outer space. There's going to be the most absurd lies backed up with CG that you've ever seen exported via TikTok. It's going to be the North Korean car dealership style of...
This is going to be great.
Wave of videos where the Chinese are... The Kyoto Council discovered in Beijing now for China. We have discovered Kyoto Council. We are working on making it to export in the world. We have to keep a secret where we get the parts for it. Where it's actually it's so complicated to make that if we tell you how it's made, we can't tell you that. So we're going to be working on this over the next. But in 3 years, we'll have this for you. That's what's going to happen on TikTok, backed up with CG, with stuff made in fucking Unity, like the Chinese Central Intelligence, the Chi-Com intelligence. They're all downloading Unity, Blender, ZBrush, just to make assets for this coming. They're on Envato Elements right now, buying assets to use in their grand opera of exalting Chinese excellence that's going to be pouring through your screen on TikTok over the next year.
What?
Chinese have discovered free energy with a perpetual motion machine. What? George St. Pierre came to China for a vacation, and he learned the hard way that Chinese Kung Fu is the best, and he was beaten in a fight. Here's the video. It's just footage from the UFC video game.